Hi, this is Mike Crow. You know, one of the questions I get asked on a regular basis is, Mike, do I need a brochure? And, well, yeah, you do. And by the way, people will try to give you bad information from time to time, and it's not because they're trying to hurt you, or the truth is they probably just don't know what I know and what you are about to know. And here's the big thing. You need to understand that having a business card is good, but having a brochure is like 10 times better. Because here's what you need to know. A mortgage agent, a real estate agent, a title company, a moving company, an insurance company. If someone says, oh, I'm looking to move, well, great, they could give a business card out. But they'd much rather give out a brochure because it has more information in it. It helps them better. And so here's what I want to make sure that you know. You need a brochure. Now, if you've got a brochure and you're patting yourself on the back, well, that's wonderful. Now, I got bad news for you. Unless you've already heard this information and taken some action on it, your brochure is probably a little bit out of date. So here's what happened. Was 20 years ago, when me and my dad first got in this business, like almost 30 years ago, when we developed a brochure, one of the things we realized was we needed to convince people they need a home inspection. Well, guess what? You don't convince anybody anymore they need a home inspection. What you convince them now is to use you for the home inspection. Your brochure has one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to make the phone ring. And when it does, then you answer it and then you do some things. Now, here's some things that I find that are in brochures you need to get rid of. So let's just go through a short list. And I'll try to get them all in this video, but if I don't, you might have to come back and watch a second video because, well, there's about, I don't know, 8 to 10 items here. Number one, if you have prices in your brochure, or if you have a price card, or if you have prices on your website, or if you have prices on your business card, that's like the biggest number one mistake I try to get everybody to stop doing, okay? Because here's the thing is, the number one reason they're going to pick up that phone and call you is because they want to say, by the way, do you do home inspections? Yep. Okay, great. Can you tell me how much you charge for that? Wonderful. If you don't have prices in the brochure, they have to call you to get it. But if you have prices in the brochure, they're going, oh, hon, look, he's got his prices right here. We don't need to call this guy. We'll just compare his prices against everybody else. That might work if you're like the lowest price guy in town. Which, by the way, if that's who you are, we need to talk about that too. We can fix that, okay? Number two, you don't need a fax number. Now, my kids all the time remind me, you know, Dad, you were around before fax machines. And most of the time they don't even remember. The younger ones, they don't even know what a fax machine is anymore. And yes, I was. But you know what? Nobody ever faxes in an order or faxes in some, say, hey, can you give me a price on a home inspection? The next thing that's just as bad, believe it or not, is email. If you have email, well, we all have email, but if you think people are going to send you in something going, hey, could you please give me a price for this home by email? I'm just going to tell you, sure, there's this myth out there. There's these one or two people that somehow miraculously have made that work. That's bogus, okay? It just doesn't work. So you don't need your email address on your brochures either. By the way, you don't need it on your business card. We'll talk about that at another time. But here's the thing is, you need to try to make sure you get rid of some information. So if I walked into a real estate office today and I pulled down 10 brochures and I started looking at them, well then what I would do is simply pull my pen out and I would start Xing out stuff I don't need. So if they've got an email address on there, scratch. If they've got a fax number on there, scratch. By the way, you got a fax number on there, you might just be telling them you're really old. So don't do that, okay? So the next thing is company address. If you have a company address on there, I get it. We all thought at one point that was important, but you don't really need a company address. What you need is for people to pick the phone up and call you. So here's the problem. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if I put in there, I'm from Dallas, people in Fort Worth, they aren't going to call me. If I'm in Fort Worth and I put a Fort Worth address on that, people in Dallas, they ain't going to call me either, okay? So an address is one of those things that makes people go, you know what, this guy's too far away, don't call him. So you don't need a company address. You might put in there the area you're serving.